Yeah, which is Stephanie. Um, we don't have the red door. I'm not at home. I'm in Suzhou now, for work starting tomorrow. I have to work again. Meh. I have a couple of things I want to go over with you guys tonight. I wanted you to, first of all, motivate me because I went to a stationery store tonight, as Leet Bookstore in Times Square Mall in Suzhou, and I got a new eraser. This is the funniest eraser ever. Look at this. It's super tiny. Here's a regular size mechanical pencil, and here's the eraser. The eraser has a cap, as erasers should, and you can, get just a lot of eraser or a little bit of eraser. Although, if you get a lot, it's going to break off and you'll lose it, and this thing, I really hope it lasts a while because this little guy was $3. But because I'm writing on these in pencil and I'll be constantly fixing the mistakes I have, I need an eraser. An eraser that's bigger than this eraser because this will not last forever and I need to save this for emergencies. So I have a new eraser. Super portable, yay. I also got new Post-its. They should make Post-it earrings. I swear, I think I fund a lot of Post-it companies worldwide. I know Post-it's a brand, and it's also a generic term that we use for sticky notes. I use it in both ways, so you're going to have to figure it out from context which one I mean. I want you to motivate me. I need to do my 10 cards tonight. I've got both stacks of note cards with me. I've got hidden under this pile of goodness. I've got my HSK list, and I need motivation. So my motivation is this. I haven't done any of this tonight. I did study on the train on the way to Suzhou, but it's a half-hour train. I didn't have a lot of time. So I did study a little bit, but I did not do any cards because even though it's a pretty smooth train, I'm being goofy tonight. It was not, it was not long enough for me to do any cards, and it was, there's still people. I had an aisle seat, and there were people walking next to me, and at any moment my arm could have run into somebody. That's how we're going to look at this. So I want you to motivate me. So every 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, every 3 cards I'll check in. That seems excessive. Tell you what, I'm going to check in 5 cards and then in 10 cards. And then I've got, and I'll share what I learned and some of the visuals that I made up for these. And I know, you guys are thinking, oh, you're like, what's her name? Because I keep making these movement things with the words, the characters and the words, and I know there is a book series out there like this. There was a really popular TED Talk about this, and I used to know her name. Yikes. I'm sure you know who I'm talking about, where she creates pictures out of them, and that's supposed to help you learn the language. And that only a certain portion of the Chinese language is actually pictograms. I'm not actually trying to create images for everybody. I'm trying to help me when I first get used to the words to remember what they are. So I just want to be super duper clear. When I do my motion thingies, like for, I think the sit one is my favorite one right now. When I see that one, I smile. Smile, smile, smile. But I thought some of y'all might get a little misled by when I talk about my visuals. And I don't actually do it for all of them, but I'd like to because I think it helps me. See, I'm already stalling. Oh, here we go. I should be doing my first 3 cards right now. Zwo, zwo, zwo. And let me show you my horrible, horrible handwriting. This, I already told you, right? These are 2 people, and they're either sitting down up here if they want a nice view of the river. What river? I don't know. I just see one, okay? Or if they want, they can sit down on the ground and use it kind of like a Japanese restaurant, kind of low, thingy. But I do see them in the action of sitting. I see them go down when I see this card. It also looks like a happy face, so I have to really, really work hard not to think this just means happy. For some reason, this is like dreamy, happy face. But I have to remove that one from my head because that is not what it means. Anyway, I just do this until I don't need to. Like if you were with us at the beginning, when I used to call, hey, Ooga Booga Man, I have stopped calling him Ooga Booga Man, although my husband sometimes teases me when we pass by a phrase that has that character. Hey, I think that's probably one of the words or characters which is probably the best to pronounce to help someone understand the third tone. Hey, because it's sort of like, hey girl. Okay, I did that before. It sounds just as stupid now as before because I'm just so not cool, and only very relaxed, cool people can say that correctly. Anyway, the point is that I don't really think Ooga Booga Man anymore. I've seen that so many times that I just start to think, hey, now. So the visual for me usually just comes in play until it's instinctual what the opinion and meaning is. So it's sort of a substitute until I get all of the other information in there. Oh, it's a substitute. Okay, I'm going to get to work now. I will check back in after 5 flashcards. Pause, not stop, pause. I hope. Okay, I'm only done with my 4th one, but how can you not talk about this? How cool is that? Oh my gosh, you can't talk about it because I didn't even finish it. Shall, no wait. Shall. Now, here's where we get crazy. Shall, let me break out the other deck. SHOU is also shall, isn't it? With the 3rd tone. Isn't that, and here's where knowing more than 3 words gets tricky. Is that to shout? That's also another ugly flashcard. Sorry, I'm not looking at you. I'm looking at the flashcards as I try to remember. Shao is like 2 boxes. They looks kind of like a mouth and a mouth. Oh, those are all blank. Cool. I could just look it up in Pleco. Anyway, this is one of those where I'm like, yeah, that's just fun to make. Here's what it should look like, and here's what I keep forgetting to show you, just in case some of you are just joining me for the first time. This is Pleco, P-L-E-C-O. I'm saying it wrong. I think it's Pleco. I'm not sure. But it has a stroke function where it shows you stroke by stroke how to make the character. It doesn't show you the grid that a lot of the practice papers have, but I find this really, really, really helpful. And I watched that about 5 times for even something as simple as this, and I do find that I'm going to be going back and changing a lot of these. Even so, because the spacing that I talked about in a previous video is really funky. Oh, that's Jiao. I was thinking of Jiao. And that's not even 3rd tone. That's angry 4th tone. So what is the... And this is part of the process. Is the more vocabulary I have, the more I confuse things with other things. And then I guess once the confusion's over, then... oh, maybe that's what I'll do. Because I have part of each flashcard for components. Maybe I'll make the bottom of that like it's not this. Like, don't confuse it with this. Maybe I'll do that. I still want there to be sentences with the words in question, especially for things like this, which is like a few, because there's a few words on HSK1 that mean a few. So I feel like I need to have a few sentences to be able to distinguish between the different a fews. Oh, I didn't tell you guys about the fire in my apartment the other day. That's not a joke to you because you didn't know that happened. It was an electrical melt. It wasn't really a fire. So yeah, everything's fine. Don't worry. But I can't find that one that I'm looking for. Anyway, the point is that does this look like a few to you? Maybe a few random lines. Maybe that's how I can remember it. Because there's no motion in this for me. There's some where I can't do my motion thing. There's nothing. I mean, what, a few worms? That doesn't help me. That's a bridge too far. So there's ones like this that I have to just keep coming back to over and over and over and over and not use any sort of motion help. Yes. All right, see you in a few. Okay, so I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm halfway done. Thank you for staying with me. So we've got shao, and then we've got, oh, which is like few or a little. Then we've got yi sheng, doctor. Forgot to write down the translation. Don't care if I forget to write down the translation because I actually saw it in my head who it was, what it was, what profession it was. We have Ching, to invite. Then we have one I want to talk about, and then we have Ming Tian. Ming is these two together. Tian is this one. This is just day. This is normally just day. Ming is these two together. Means tomorrow. So you have day with moon with day is tomorrow. If you really wanted to approach it like that. Sorry, I should do their actual names, huh? So Ru with Yue. If you put those together, which is basically day and moon. I'm getting that wrong, aren't I? Sun with day. Oh, forget it. So many time words have multiple meanings, and so I've just messed all that up. But the point is that I'm trying. What I want to talk about after getting halfway through tonight, because I am in full-on procrastination mode, and I realize I feel like I'm starting to do daily study vlogs or daily flash card vlogs, and I don't know how interesting these are going to be, but they're helping me. So thanks for that. This one here, tie, I don't know if that's right. TAI with the falling tone. It's not an angry one, although it is too much, which could be a very negative meaning, right? But if you look at, and this is written partially correctly, it's not like da, like here. Da actually is like together. See how that's all connected? This one's not. Even in its correct form, it's kind of broken here. So something happens when they go from da, which is one of the components, to tai, where he falls over. Something grows out, like he's got an ingrown toenail, and then part of his body just shifts over to too much. Oh, actually, this could help me with the meaning, because he started out in one piece here, right, with da. And I love how this line is shu. Thank you for a line having a name. But when you go to the actual word, because da is just a component in this case, he falls apart. He has an ingrown toenail, and his body has fallen off. Or maybe it's an unaligned arm, a dislocated shoulder, but something went terribly wrong because of too much. I'm seeing this a lot when they go from components built into words, that the shape of the components changes quite a bit. And because there are so many components that look similar to each other, I find that a bit manipulative, and it makes me want to punch Hansa in the face. I don't know where that accent came from. It's a little disconcerting because I'm trying to remember the differences between the ones that look like stick figure people, like the ren and the da and the tai and those. But then when they change, they morph, when they go into a different word, then they look like the other ones, and it's really, really hard. That's all I have to say about that. 5 more. Wish me luck. Oh boy. Dun da da da. That could be the quickest time ever, and I'm not entirely sure that's a good thing, but I'm going for consistency. That is the theme of 2018. Consistent. Even if my heart's not in it that day, just do it anyway. All right, so here's the last 5. Again, 10 for the day. Ta. That's horrible. Let me show you what it should look like. This is the last one, and I was clearly looking to not. Can you see how horrible the second component is? What I did find interesting about ta, which is he and she or she in sound, but slightly different written form. Anyway, this one's the he form of the third person singular. Look at, okay, the first character, I want to show you the stroke order. The first component's normal, right? Oh, but I just showed you. The second one, if you were to guess, even though I just already showed you, my guess is it would be this first, like left to right, top to bottom. But look at where they start this part. Again, it's this one first, then the second one. So there's 1, 2 components here. Look at where they start the second component. Really? They start with this in here. I would not guess that at all. So that was the fun part of that one. Clearly I need to practice it more because mine's like super anemic. He needs to come down further. So there's ta, which is ta. Yeah, flat tone. Ta, ta, ta. Then there's how, which is associated with numbers, like addresses. I saw it a lot on addresses in my reading book. Then there's z, which I'm going to talk about in a minute, but that specific one is word, like hanzi, characters, hanzi is, Chinese words, isn't it? Yes, it is. Say it is. This one is erzi, it's sun, and this one is hanyo, is Chinese language. You can clearly see I was getting tired and I was picking ones that were somewhat familiar, even if I didn't know how to write them necessarily. They were somewhat familiar to me already, but that's okay because I have 150 to put onto cards and to get totally instinctual by the time the test comes around. And if there are ones that I recognize, chalk it up as good experience to come from the 8 months prior to this that I wasn't working on HSK stuff. The other thing I want to talk about with z, hanzi, z, the sound component, first of all, is the inside one here. It's not as good a written form as it can be, but it's used in a lot of stuff. Actually, it was also used in the sun one. It's used over here too. This is probably a slightly better written version of it. It's used in a lot of stuff. It's also, if I remember right, in Shui, like Da Shui University. Is that a component there too? Come on, Da Shui, 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 Da Shui. Pause. Okay, in Shui Shao, which is a word from this week. Here, I'll just show you in here. It'll take me forever to find my cards. But do you see it's in there too? Right there, it's that first component below the, there we go. And the first green bit right here next to my finger on the bottom part, that component is also, that's a different sound, but it's the same written form. I don't even know what I'm saying anymore. The important thing is this z, it has the top part of it, the mian, the top part, that's the component on top. The bottom one is actually z, so that's a sound component, but it's also a meaning component because, and this is adorable, as a language lover, I love this moment. This means like offspring. So like words are offspring of the language. I'm done. That's awesome. That is awesome. Not only is it a sound component, but it also has an adorable meaning of words being offsprings of a language, which they are. They totally are. I wish I didn't hate them right now because it makes me feel like the meanest kindergarten teacher known to man, and I'm not even a kindergarten teacher. So those are my 10 new ones. Those are my 10 new ones. So I should have 76 now out of 150. I will, after going to find out where my water went in this hotel room, I'm going to come back and take all 76 and see how long it takes me to go through and see how many I can recognize and do my tracking sheet. Holy cow. So I'm going to stop this vlog. I'll do that. I'm probably not going to document that tonight. I'll document that in the next one. I'll have those updates in bits, not necessarily every day, because it takes me a long time to go through this many cards, and the self-flagellation that happens when I can't recognize the ones that I recognized yesterday. Because inevitably I'll recognize ones I didn't recognize yesterday, and I'll not recognize ones that, I don't know, it seems to go back and forth as far as which ones I remember and which ones I don't, except for like a core 5 that I remember all the time. Alright, so let's try to bring that core 5 up to a core 76. Thanks for watching. Thank you so much. Questions, comments, suggestions, anything, Twitter, I'm back on all social media, just not as frequently as I could, but I'm there. I'm still posting a lot of, I found an entire sentence that I could read on an outside billboard today, and it wasn't even left to right, it was top to bottom. So go on my Instagram and check out that 10-second video from today. I read an entire sentence just in Hansa characters. Okay, it was a really short sentence, but I did it. Anyway, Satyan, good night.